They call it clickbait. Clickbait. It's full of get rich quick schemes. Nothing you've seen is more annoying. And you know clickbait lives in a world full of blunder where you could go under financially. I'm just kind of making that up as I go along. But these people, on a lot of these various self prosperity help thing type things, you know what I'm talking about. They they just seem to be making it up as they go along, but they're not. It's all very well calculated, and it may seem hard to put the agenda on it or whatever you want to think or might be behind it, but no, they're just making money doing what they're doing. When it comes to hearing from somebody who knows the process from the ground up, that's not me. But that's not a lot of these guys who started with an inheritance or started buying real estate while making 150 grand a year, something like that. Okay. Now, while I'm at it, let me just say two things. Why I'm making this video and the disclaimer and everything else. First of all the advice I'm about to give, if you're not in America, it may not apply to you at all. Some of these things I'm suggesting may be illegal. Okay, you need to check your local laws and everything else. Number two is, I'm not a licensed real estate fucking anything. I'm not a licensed anything at this point. I'm not even a licensed driver at this point. My license just expired. That's great. So, do your due diligence before taking any of my suggestions. But what I'm doing here on this video, and the reason I went ahead and just fucking titled the video, yeah, exactly this. Even so much as to say, YouTube, you can be a good thing if you want to be. I wanted to make it clear that if YouTube would hashtag repent, if YouTube would realize that it's you who owe me an apology and would like to make amends, remonetize my channel and allow me to get the views I deserve, and maybe, work with me on the shit that you don't want on here, But don't ask me to stop being me, because me being me is what could make you a whole lot of money, YouTube. All right. And one of the reasons why is because I love people. I love other people who are trying to be productive, who are trying to be honest, who are trying to be real YouTubers. And I'm more than helpful when it comes to helping other people find good advice on YouTube. So on this video, what I'm going to do is all this crap that I've been cramming in my brain for the past few weeks trying to do this business pitch. And I might even do some more practicing on the business pitch later on. Or during, I don't know. All of this stuff that I've been cramming for, I'm going to give you my full, complete analysis on how to best apply it if, say the screwball pitch doesn't apply to you, if you don't have anything you actually want to make and people to put together a factor, or if you want to own your own home, get out of debt, get rich but not quick. Okay. Have the money to not be stressed out all the time, basically. Okay. This is a way to achieve that with no money, no money down, no money at all, none of your money. You're going to need money. It's just not going to be your money. It's going to be somebody else's money. Okay? That's the whole key to the thing. And that sounds preposterous, but it'll work. Okay? No credit, no bank loan, well, um, a bank loan can be had by the entity that you're going to establish, but you're going to raise more than 50% of the closing costs of the entire deal. So any bank's going to give you a loan once you have 50% of, like, $1 million deal. You come in there with $500,000. Come on, you got yourself a loan, son. Got yourself a loan, honey. But that's in the name of the entity, a limited liability corporation. See, I'm going to get to that in a minute. But this is a way to, with no money down, no credit of yours. Your credit doesn't matter. You can have shitty credit. All you need to do is basically be somebody who's motivated enough to just fake it till you make it. Okay? But at the same time, you have to have the competency, the work experience, and people who know you from your work and professional level, especially the owners of your former jobs, okay? And, say your doctor, your dentist, if they're a practitioner and they own their own thing, people who invest lots of money in the stock market, people who might invest in real estate already. You're going to need all those people as a pool to choose from, including strangers in your area that might be, investors that you can do walk-in on or send letters to. Okay. But you're going to need to have been a competent person. You just can't be some, tattooed up drug addict and, think you just take your piercings out and you're going to own some real estate. No. Keep your piercings back in and start a band. Do something more along your type of play. You need to be somebody that somebody can have confidence in being able to take care of things. Okay? Now, being someone who is already a homeowner or grew up a homeowner and grew up in an area and you know all the people in the town, these are all things that come in handy. Being a carpenter, an existing maintenance type professional, very handy. Okay, especially if you have an accreditable resume that can prove that you've been doing it for a number of years. Oh wait. Oh, if your dad taught you how to be a carpenter, go to your dad's friends. Not the one he talks shit about you to. Go to the other friends. And that lady that your mom is like friends with, but she kind of hates because the bitch has nicer stuff. Go to her. Because guess what? That's the only one of her friends that she don't bitch about you to. Because that would make her look bad. And that bitch is already richer than she is. So she don't want to fucking play that. Yep. Go to your dad's friend that has the nicer boat. That's not the one he talks shit about you to. Go to your mom's friend with the Gucci purse. That's not the one she talks shit about you to. They got an image to maintain. See, yeah, I understand. If you can think about nuance, if you can strategize from a nuanced perspective, you can be crippled. I don't know how you do it blind, but you do it deaf. You can probably do it mute. If you got a good friend that can see for you, you can do it blind. All you got to do is get your little Braille keyboard out and structure this deal. Okay, well, Grant Cardone says, okay, chase the deal. Focus on the deal. Go after the deal. Don't worry about the money. The money will come. It's like, think of this as like the deal you're structuring is that baseball stadium in the cornfield. Okay? If you build it, they will come. And if you don't build it, there's going to be like some creepy kids, and that's not going to end well. So, I was discussing this in depth on a previous live stream. If anybody's here from the previous live stream, go ahead and holler. And I decided, you know, there are some people I'd like to plug who are YouTubers and who YouTube should be making good money off of. They are, you know, it's the self-help thing. It's one of the main reasons why people go on YouTube. It's one of the most legitimate sources of revenue that they have. I'm just trying to show the love, basically. Not just for Grant Cardone, but let me see if I can pronounce this right. Phil Pustajovsky, Dave Ramsey, Meet Kevin, and of course, Bigger Pockets. These are all really helpful YouTube channels that you need to watch. Every little thing that interests you based on like how relevant it sounds and how little you know of it and how immediately beneficial it sounds. Just start binging it, okay? And you'll get the idea based on the way they title their videos and broadcasts, just the way you'd normally do, about what's redundant, what's got something new, what's, you know, right. Sorry, when I generally speaking, when I realize people probably already know what the fuck I'm talking about, I just cut myself off and stop talking. I'm not a big fan of wasted breath. And that's not what people want in a salesperson. That's not what people want in a person they can do business with. Don't think this is something you got to razzle dazzle people about. This is not something you got to go and be one of those car salespeople or whatever, or a Shark Tank pitch or anything like that. This is a matter of knowing the game. Okay? And speaking of knowing the game, before you get started, and I think every single one of these channels will agree, the first thing you need to do, make friends with a real estate agent. Oh yes. And go through your Facebook feed. Just find out which one of your friends might up getting a real estate license. And you just be like, hey there, such and such. I know it's been a long time since we talked or whatever, but I've been thinking about getting into real estate. And I promise you, they will be happy to hear from you. In fact, if it's someone that you got a little bit of an awkward bad blood standoffish thing with, this would be a great way to fucking break the shit out of some chilly ass ice, okay? Nothing says let bygones be bygones like, I'm gonna do this thing and you're gonna make money off of me for it. Because you're not going into business with them, okay? That's not the deal. They're not your investor. You don't have to worry about that. Whatever it was in the past, it's literally in the past. You're going to do your thing. And every time they help you do it, they make money. Okay, so you can count on them. All right? And you can count on everything they say they do know, they know. Everything they say they don't know, they don't know. Okay? Because they're going to know. You can go look that shit up. And you will if you're serious. And they don't want to give you no wrong information. Because then they're not going to make their money. So now there's two types of deals. One is the one that the real estate agent actually helps you find through her MLS service that only realtors have access to, basically. Licensed real estate agents. Get this. Multiple service listing. Multiple listing service. Whatever. That has commercial and excuse me. And land. And rentals and condos and timeshares and all that good stuff. All listed. And it's got the histories and all kinds of different stuff about it. Okay. And you'd have to be, you know, like a skip tracer like my wife to get all that kind of shit on a property. So. She can actually get better, but she impressed the hell out of our real estate agent. Let me just put it that way. So there's those deals that they can give you. And you know, like the way I met my real estate agent friend is we were looking for a house. That's how we met the fucking real estate agent. And she wound up being, you know, my kind of people, our kind of people, good people from around here. And I was acceptable because my mama's from around here. And once I said, I can't believe, that was about it. Because you said that. you have to even be around here to even know what I'm talking about when I say that. I can't believe. Everybody knows you don't have that accent all the time. Okay? You don't need to have the accent all the time. You just gotta know what the fuck that accent even is. Okay? So yeah, I grew up with my people talk like that. Cause you can hear it in me from time to time anyway. That's Cajun. So I realized I had myself a nice Cajun girl for a real estate agent. Oh. Well, we can look at some properties we can fix up. Maybe flip a little. I don't know. And I wish I'd been more focused on this at the time than trying to get my ass in debt, trying to get a bank loan, because we weren't in any position to get a bank loan. So we wound up just wasting this girl's time, but it all wound up working out in the end. Or still, or something. I don't know. It's still quite a productive seeming relationship. She got my wife a job. And then I went to a Christmas party with all kinds of different real estate people from all kinds of different companies and everything. And they said, flood-proof buildings? What? And it's taken me a while, but I'm about to do my ladies and gentlemen. And well, if it all works, because it will all work, it should all work. I figure if I can build a house and build a car, I can pretty much combine the two. Build a house more like you build a car. It's just that simple. Make the parts and put them together. Don't just be going out to the fucking field with components, for fuck's sake. The way they build houses today, just to get on a side note from the lesson at hand, okay? The way they build houses today would be as if, you know, say whether it's your driveway or like the pit box in a racetrack. They showed up there with a kettle full of molten steel. Some rubber and some plastic and some machines to put it all together and you bought a car and they got to come and just build it little piece by piece for you. That's how we are building houses. Now, there's been a few construction companies that have gone modular, but I've seen very few that don't devalue the property while they do it. I did, however, see one that does things identically to the way I had things planned out about 5 editions ago. Okay? There's been like 20 total editions. I don't even know how many. I'm just estimating at this point. Could be 17, could be 85. But just proportionally speaking. How many times I've redesigned this shit. But, you know, in my head versus on paper, oh God. You know. Well, I saw this building video that's a time lapse, and they had the segments, the cranes putting it up, and it looked like it only took them a few days to do this, but they didn't have it quite as segmentized as I did. But what it showed me was that just having the properly built carpentry fucking normal cell wall sections built ahead of time can save your framers and everybody a whole lot of time. Because they just had a 18-wheeler crane combo truck pull up and just start unloading the fucking wall sections onto the house. It didn't go that fast, but that's how fast it was on the time lapse. Anyway. So yeah, I'm basically refining that a little further, making the on-site process even quicker. Building about the same quality of structure. They were doing a really nice job on this build. And then floodproof. See, something I got mixed feelings about that I think is kind of a half-ass approach that I saw on this particular video. And I'm sorry to get so far into this sidetrack, but, you know, we're still at the last call point for if anybody wants to be a $420 a month investor into my endeavor, okay? And, yeah, my word is good for it, just plain and simple, and it's in writing up there. I tried to put it as plain enough as I could to make it actionable on the investor's part. Should I somehow fucking, fail or die or whatever. But, houses, blah, 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 what the fuck did I say? The one thing that I saw that just kind of like, hey, it's like it's kind of strong, but it's not really because it could rust. They're using steel beams in the basement. It's a two-story house going on top of a basement. Steel beams for strength. Wood could rot. Could rot. I get it. But steel beams can rust. Get hot in a fire and the whole fucking thing will collapse all at one time. You can, use fire retardant paint on some wood and it'll only hold off for so long. I get that. But while it's sitting there being hot and not burning, it's not going to bend. And again, I think the future of ecological awareness is for more people to have saltwater aquariums. And you can have a saltwater aquarium or 2 or 5 in your house. You don't want no damn steel beams underneath. But the problem is, wood rots. Termites. Moist wood especially gets termites. Because moist wood, if the dew drips off of it, that's your pressure treatment. Just slowly fading away, So you just got to keep it from rotting. Got to keep it dry. Somehow. some way. I've said it before, but I won't say it again on a video that might actually wind up popular. But, yeah. I'm not using steel in any place that isn't guaranteed to stay dry. And really, I can use brass pretty much anywhere I need a metal plate or anything like that. Because I want a little extra flexibility. I'm going to use highly anti-corrosive treated fucking brass. Probably one of them new little magnesium alloy type things. Anyways, I'll see. I like metallurgy. I might go casting shit myself for all I know. Who knows what the future holds? I try to keep it simple in the meantime. And we're just going to use fucking whatever's available first. Anyways, keeping it as simple as what my guys know how to do, you know? And that's just fucking automotive tech and carpentry tech all combined. So, assuming you don't have some genius plan to invent a new type of building just to house the facilities to deploy all of your other inventions, because that's the crazy crap that I'm up to. How do you just become a landlord, you know? Say you actually have a career in mind, and you want to go to school. You're stuck in a bullshit job, barely pay your bills. How do you fucking... Where are those bootstraps that all these fucking Republicans keep talking about? Oh. I think I found a pair. And I don't know if it's quite a one-size-fits-all. But it's a one-size-fits anybody with the ambition. And chances are, if you're not happy with your job, you're one of these people. You know, there's people who ain't happy with shit. You know, people who can't be happy with anything. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about people addicted to hard drugs and alcoholics and people spend all their free time feeling sorry for themselves. Nope, you can't be one of those people. It helps to be a Christian because it helps to have faith. It helps to realize the gifts that God has given you and to accept your responsibility as a steward. Okay? Again, that's not necessary. It's advisable. But this is a way to not only be a steward of a property, it's to be a steward of a part of a community. And people who I think would be successful doing this need to understand that first and foremost, okay? And don't be narcissistic about it. Don't be apathetic about it. Don't just say, I care, I understand. Even if you have to realize the dollars and cents behind actually caring and understanding, you need to actually care and understand. Oh, yes, there's dollars and cents behind actually caring and understanding. It's called building long term value, not just in an individual property, but in your brand and in the neighborhood and in the greater community as a whole in which you operate. Not only does how you treat your clients and prospective clients and people you do business with reflect upon all of that, but it's also about being a good influence. Success comes with the responsibility of being at least a partial role model. So, understand that when you go into real estate, you want to try to get multifamily housing. Okay, and that's why I talk about how you act first and foremost, because the way into profitability is going to involve some tough decisions. Because chances are the property you're going to buy isn't vacant. But chances are the property you're going to buy is over 50% occupied by people who wouldn't pass a background check. Oh man, yeah, you got your crackheads and your ex-cons and prostitutes and there's all kinds of fucked up people staying in these dilapidated properties, okay? But you're looking for the one that isn't sunken into a shitty area. You're looking for like the one blemish on the otherwise okay place. You see the neighborhood's just starting to go, and this one place is the cause of it. You're looking for that shithole, okay? The poo-poo and the diamonds or whatever. The opposite of the diamond in the rough, you know? The rat turd and the cotton balls. The dead cockroach in your bowl of Cheerios. Okay, I'm done. And understand this. It's not just about buy low and sell high, okay? Keeping that principle in mind is what's going to help you structure the deal. But the reason why that works is what you need to keep in mind going in. It's about building value for your brand, for your stewardship qualities, and in the community as a whole. You're there to make that whole block look better. You're not there to fuck people over on parking or anything like that. You're not there to cause a disturbance. You're not there to annoy anybody. You're not there to reduce the value of other people's land. That's very important. You do not want your improvements or anything else you do to in any way adversely affect the value of the surrounding properties. Your goal is to improve the value of your neighbor's properties, because that in turn will improve the value of your portfolio. So, I'm talking about buying something that could cost $1 million, and I'm sitting there telling you you don't need any money. What the fuck am I talking about, right? Who's here? I got the one person watching. Is this a non-announced broadcast? And I just got my little monitor sitting there. Is he for real? Well, yes, you do, person. No, I'm for real, and you can go and fucking do this shit yourself. Just go ahead and unflag me or whatever, remonetize my channel, and I'll take that as my apology. stop demonetizing my Russia shit just because it's Russia shit, and demonetize the stuff where I'm actually pissed at you. Not talking about the infiltrators, not making my nuanced arguments about there are people at YouTube, because there's obviously fucking people at YouTube. I have every right to have said that. I have every right for that to continue to be up. Because such is the same as so many different American companies, it's not even funny. But you go ahead and, you know, think about what shouldn't be on YouTube. I agree. You've pissed me off so much that I've said some things that shouldn't be on YouTube. Those you have the right to demonetize. And if you do, I will then make them private. But when I look and I see every single freaking demonetized thing is Russia, it looks to me like everything I'm saying is true. And, you know, all of that evidence has been sent to Adam Schiff. So, it would look very good on your part to say, we made a mistake here. Anyways. But regardless, if you have a pair and you think you have the gumption, you got the tenacity, you've got the wherewithal, you've got the competence, you got the cajones, with no money down, no money at all out of pocket, damn near. It's kind of luck of the draw. You might be able to do it no money out of pocket, but you might have to pay for the filing of an LLC. You might have to choke up the money just to get your own company started. You might. You might not. Ask that real estate friend. Once you come to her with your preliminary draft deals, her or him, mine's a her, so I'm saying a her. Sorry. Once you come to her, showing her what you have in mind, him or her, them, and you know, you're asking them for pointers on how to finalize your structured deal, how to structure it. Okay, and they'll be more than happy to help you with this, because you're about to do a whole lot of work that's going to make them make money. Okay, and when it comes to multifamily housing, like I said in the previous video, I hope I didn't already say this in this video, multifamily housing is going to make them a lot of money. So you get your deal structured, get them looking at it, get them giving you pointers, and when the subject comes up of establishing an LLC, you ask them. Tell you what, you come up with the money, you either pay them back, give them a percentage, or just ask them to pay for it. If you do the deal, they're going to be making like $6,000 minimum, you know. So a couple $100, man. They just might decide that you are worth the investment. Otherwise, come up with a couple $100. That's all. No down payment, you know, no money in the property. You're going to own it. You're going to own a big part of it. But you don't need a loan. You don't need a bank to approve your credit. You don't need any credit other than your fucking own good name, basically. If you don't have a good name, just don't bother. Just be thankful you can get a job, son. But if people know you for being somebody who works hard and does what's right, this is for you. And it's kind of a benefit of being a Christian in more than one way. It's kind of a benefit in being a modern day Hebrew or an evolved Muslim, somebody who basically has a genuine love for other people based in their actual brotherhood under God with them. Okay? If you have that perspective, there's some magical fluke of the universe where you will win at this game. Isn't that nice? Just happens to be. You just happen to be the right kind of person. Okay? Unfortunately, there's a lot of things in your doubts and in your past and in the world that are telling you that this is somehow wrong or somehow awkward or somehow you're incapable of it. It's too hard. You don't have what it takes. But you know what? Every time you're trying to do something good, aren't those the things that a demon tells you? This is not easy money. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is real work. To say it's hard work is a stretch. It can be stressful, and that takes its toll. But you either need to be really greedy or really bad at planning for this to wind up being hard work. Okay? Because if you're a contractor, if you're a maintenance professional, carpenter, plumber, electrician, what have you, and you think you could go and take care of the whole property yourself, there's more money in you keeping your current job until you're talking about, more than 50 units. When you're talking about like 16 to 50 units, get a maintenance person. They're not going to make as much by the hour as you do. And that's the calculation you got to make, basically. But doing it yourself is not how most people do it. Okay? Most people go and hire either a property management company or a property manager, and they take care of all that. And they'll have a leasing agent, or the property management company will have their leasing agent there, etc. But step 2 involves how to get prices for all that. and how to get prices for the properties. Okay? And it's just this simple. Pretend you have the money. You don't ever like say you have the money. You don't have to lie. You just have to kind of live in your own little fantasy world for a while, where you can just go in and pay cash for this bitch. Minimum 16 units, according to Grant Cardone, and I haven't seen any effective arguments against this principle, which is basically the 10x principle of you need to be making 10%, times 10, basically. So against your vacancy rate and the amount of profits you can make off of each unit. He has this whole 10x thing, and you can go check out his 10x thing. It's a very intensive hammering in of this whole process of focusing on the deal and how to structure things to really just take all the money you can. But I have a different approach in mind. Okay, and I don't shun home ownership. I think that buying a home, especially in one of these communities that you're helping rebuild, right in the middle of several different multifamily housing units or whatever, buying a home in that area and fixing that up, buying several homes along with your multifamily housing unit, that helps build value for all of them, right? You see how that works? And when you see that property that's fallen behind, that's your target. And before I go any further about how to fake it till you make it, let's talk about who to target. You got your two targets. You got your MLS, the ones that your real estate agent helps find for you. And then you've got the ones that you just go and find. Another thing besides having the right personality and the right moral character to be, to have the background, to have you grow up in this town and there's people in this town who know you're a decent person, or at least that you had potential of some sort. Maybe you had some hard times, but you got like a boss and you got some friends that know that you meant well, that you worked hard and you tried or whatever, and then that bitch did you wrong or something like that. And you need yourself a good car. Doesn't have to be a nice car. You just need air conditioning so you can look halfway decent when you get there. And you go and find what it looks like maybe the landlord bought this property a long time ago and he got bored of it and he's moved on to a different property. And his new property is all fancy and pretty, and it's bigger, and it's making him more money. And this old property he doesn't even like going there anymore. It's out of the way. The new one's closer to his house. Something. They're just neglecting this property. You gotta go around and spot. There's a house. There's a multifamily house complex. 4 fourplexes, 16 units. Two rows of 8, something like that. Although 2 rows of 8 generally is going to look like shit. But the bigger the better. The bigger the better. With no money. Okay? The more money it costs, the more units, the less it matters that you don't have any money. How about them apples? I did not misspeak. The bigger the deal, the more units, okay? The more money it fucking costs overall, the less it matters that you're a broke bastard. What matters is not how much money you have. And this is one thing that Grant Cardone's 100% right about. What matters is the feel. Okay? Because the same way those 2 rows of 16 don't look as good as those 4 fourplexes, when you have more units, you have more opportunity for aesthetic. And what you're looking for is the opposite effect of those really cheap row, cubicle, square, Borg cubes where they force laborers to live. You know, you don't want it to look like a place where they force laborers to live, basically. One step away from one of them shitty big housing projects in Russia, you know? Or a downtown area. The only difference is in America, we build those housing projects in downtown areas and we put the poor minorities there. In Russia, they just build those things all over the place and they put the old people there. Anyway. In Russia. Whoa. So, now planning out what you're going to do when you find the place is just as important as finding the place. Because all of this is going to have to go down on this deal for it to be a deal, for people to know this is why I'm giving this person this money. This is what they're giving me in return. This is their plan of action. It's not that I'm trusting them with the money. They're not trusting you with the money. They're trusting the plan that you're putting in writing with the money. Okay? Doesn't that feel like a weight lifted off your shoulders? You just write all this shit down, and then it's all its fault. That's why they call it an LLC. Dun dun dun. I just thought of that myself, and that just hit me as hard as it's hitting you. Isn't that awesome? It's a great thought. See, unlike most motivational speakers, I'm not full of shit. I'm learning this stuff in real time. Woo. This is how I unpack data. I've just been cramming it in. I've just been cramming it for weeks now. I've been going to sleep listening to real estate lectures. This is not exciting, okay? This is not entertaining. These people are not comedians, all right? I mean, I know I'm not a comedian, but I try, I thought. Anyways, I mean, that is, to be able to, put effort into planning a lecture, and writing it out and everything, and still have it be so bland. It just that it takes a kind of special talent itself, I must say. Anyways, so one of the key things that I think a lot of people miss. I haven't heard anybody talk about this yet. I think maybe Bigger Pockets would be the first place I might expect to see this on. Um, is what to do with the existing tenants. Okay, now like I said, you're looking for the place where hopefully most of the people won't pass your background checks. Okay? Most of those people basically are an insurance risk, and they kind of have to be evicted. You're looking for a place with one unit burned down. You're looking for a place, hopefully, the whole thing's been abandoned. Chain fucking fence up or something. One unit just caught fire, got put out a little too late, you know? Just some roof damage, that's all. Nothing too structural. You draw your line at a cracked foundation and major structural damage, okay? You want something that is just a pain in the ass for somebody, okay? And it can just be something that's poorly maintained with a bunch of crackheads living there, as long as it's not too far into Crack Alley, okay? It can't be too far into no man's land, or else nobody's going to want to go there. It's got to be accessible. If it's near Crack Alley, if it's near the ghetto, it's got to be on the edge of it, and it's got to be easily accessible from, like, you know, sane personville. And with no through traffic. You don't want it to be that place that it looks okay, but then there's just people walking by every day, you know? No. Right from the ghetto to the store, you know, quote unquote, to the store. There's happens to be a pawn shop up the road, yeah. Oh, look, there's some of my stuff up there. Yeah, you don't want to live there. You don't want to make people live there. You don't want to trick people into living there. And unlike what most investors focus on these days, I think there's a lot of opportunity out in the country. Small towns. Don't be afraid to go into small towns. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I guess I'll find out soon. I find it amazing how I had, you know, 4 and 5 people watching earlier and people chatting and stuff. And actually, I'm going to eat something and I'll be right back. And now there's only one person watching. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the notifications just didn't fucking go out again. Thanks, YouTube. I've been trying to reduce your liability from the beginning. And this is what you do for me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did he just mm-hmm like an old black lady? Yes, I did. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. So anyways, what to keep in mind about the existing tenants. is that not all of them have to go. Are you going to be able to just charge your new rental rate? The whole point of this is to raise rent. You're trying to spend as much money as possible here. Okay? That's what people make a fucking mistake there. They try to save money. They try to do it within a budget. They try to start with this much money and say, I'm only going to do what I can with this much money. I'm not going to do it because I don't have any money. That's bullshit. You want to do as much as possible. You want to add value. Okay? Not just the aesthetic. Security cameras. Trash service. Regular maintenance checkups. You want to make the tenants, the future tenants, and the ones you let stay there feel taken care of in a whole new way than what existed previously. And not just aesthetically. It's got to be a service thing. Okay? And the people you let stay are people who the federal government provides legal exemptions for. Single mothers, veterans, and the elderly. And guess who most people feel very safe and secure and comfortable renting around? Guess who will be an asset to your community and add a layer of security and value to it? Ah, elderly people, veterans, disabled people, and kids. Yep. Kids playing around makes most people feel safe. Makes most people feel like, this may be a little, this may have once been ghetto. This may be a little near the ghetto, something like that. But there's kids playing there, so it must be okay. Those kids can survive. Surely I can survive too. They're only this big. I'm this big. They're still alive. For the most part, it looks. I think I can survive there too. I think I said it funnier the first time. Anyway. So you want that little old lady there. Because she's going to be peeping through her blinds. Keeping an eye on the place. And you want that public relation small positive, okay, public image, your brand, the way you're perceived in the community affects the value of your properties, okay? Overall, in the long term. And your brand is going to be affected only in a small positive way by letting them stay. The veteran, disabled person, single mother, okay? But if you make them leave, it could be a huge negative. See? Being a Christian, being a compassionate person, it's actually the logical course of action. Just like the logical course of any android is to try to develop feelings. That's why. Because the universe is programmed that such makes sense. Because it was programmed by a compassionate creator. Duh. So anyway. You got your little old lady peeping through the blinds. You got your single mother. And you got 70% of the occupants evicted. Only them left behind. But your objective is to take this place from being $450, $550 a month and raising that rent up to $750, $850, maybe $900 a month. Maybe $1,100 a month if you can get it nice enough. If it's got the square footage but it's just shitty, you got to run comps. You got to see what other people are renting nice places for nearby. But there's a problem here. But it's not that hard to solve. Problem is, these people are already in leases where they're paying so much a month. And chances are, that's damn near all they can afford. See, when you go around looking for your property, you spend some time talking to these people. Anybody's outside, anybody's sitting around, little old lady getting groceries out of her car, whatever. Talk to them. Ask about if they have any neighbors or family that lives there. Maybe their niece stays there and they got kids and their dad's in jail and they help pay their rent, whatever. You want to try to plan out who's the keepers. And it'll tell you how to add the value to that property that'll help you negotiate them just up a little bit. You're going to have to gradually raise their rent, but not beyond the value that you bring to them and not beyond expectation of the value that they can bring to you by being there. Because bear in mind, it's better to have that disabled veteran, that little old lady with her nephew and her kids, or her niece and her kids, taking up a couple units, and then because she's sitting there looking out the blinds all the time, keeping an eye on the place even when the security guard isn't passing by, and you've installed security cameras and the place is looking better, everything's much nicer. You got the kids running around in the day making people think it's a safe place to live. You got the disabled veteran there. Oh, you heard that he let the disabled veteran guy stay there? Oh man, that's a great place to rent. Guess what? Without those people there, you might have just wound up with 3 different units that never get rented out in a rotating fashion. You got a vacancy rate of 75-80%. You get those people there as pillars of your little community that you're building, that you're now a steward of. Somebody's moving out, you already got 3 people waiting to move in. You're gonna be like, man, I gotta build some more properties. People seem to like renting from me. I'm a good landlord. Holy shit, who'da thunk it? Okay? You gotta picture this though. You got to visualize this, because like I said, in order to actually get the deal done, you're gonna have to live in this little fantasy world for a while. And it's going to be an Act 1, Act 2, and then action. And Act 1 is the other part of your research. You go and talk to that little old lady. Say, I'm thinking about buying this place. Talk to her for a while. Ask her to tell you about it. Okay? If you find anybody outside, talk to them. Tell them you're thinking about renting a place there. Ask them about it. Okay? Mix it up. See the results. I don't know. I've never done this shit before. This is my extracted amalgamization, 2 weeks of research. And 30 years of experience with my mom doing it. But, you know, I've never done it. When she went in, she wasn't bullshitting. She was with a company that could buy it. David Weber lived in a $2.1 million mansion. He could just buy it. But, he didn't. He used lines of credit for everything. Anyway, but this isn't credit. What you're going to do here is then you go into the rental office. You try to find the owner ahead of time, which your real estate person should do. You make an appointment to speak with the owner. If they can come see you that day, keep scoping the place out. If not, go check out another property, come back, you know. And you act in every way as though you already represent this existing group of investors. And they're only hypothetical at this point. They're only just people you've thought of, and just generic people you haven't even looked up. You're going to send them a letter, okay? Not your friends, not your family, not your close family. Again, if it's one of your mom's friends, it's got to be the one with the nicer purse than her. If it's one of your dad's friends, it's got to be the one with the nicer boat than him. Because those are the friends that they don't talk shit about you, too. But other than that, you keep it at a distance, because those people know about you and they don't want to fucking risk their money about you. They're going to be thinking about you, not the deal. Okay? So you go in and say, I want to buy this place. The reason why you're going in pretending you can buy this place is so that you can buy this place. This Act 1. Act 1 that you just rehearsed a little bit for by talking to the little old lady or the old guy or the, you know. I don't suggest approaching single mothers, but, you know, if you get lucky, maybe you can help them with their garbage or something. You never know. Dress for the occasion. Shirt and tie, power suit. Whether male or female, dress like you own the shit. Okay? And if you don't got a nice car, just park it where nobody can see you. They can see you get into it as long as they didn't see you get out of it. I'm adding my own wisdom if you can't tell. That's one of my little personal tidbits I'm going to just add there. I'm just playing out the scenario in my head as I go along, okay? That's what I mean by amalgamizing and extracting, yeah. I'm taking all their advice and just putting it in my brain computer, spitting out a little story for you. Okay. So the whole point of what you're doing there is to get a number, okay? You're trying to get a deal, all right? That's what it means by focus on the deal, okay? You're trying to structure this deal to where it's as lucrative as possible, which means asking price, chances are, is not gonna do. So you need to go in and act like you got your shit together already, you know? And you know, maybe you can get preliminary agreements if you have to make yourself feel better. But don't bullshit people and say that you're going to be able to get the property for less than they're asking when you haven't gone in there and negotiated yet. So that's the point of this. It's to go in there and negotiate, get that price down to where you need it, to where you want it. And you go from deal to deal, from property to property, and you see, okay, what feels good, what has the most potential, not what looks good right now, but what has the layout that can have the value added to it, not necessarily per square feet, but has the space between the properties, that has that nice ambiance, that has that je ne sais quoi, has the potential to have that good vibe to it, okay? And you have to weigh that not against the overall cost, about how much it's going to cost to fix up, okay? You just have to keep that in mind when you go to the negotiating table. You got to evaluate these things ahead of time, and you go and try to negotiate the price down. And then you weigh, this one has this much ambiance, I can get this good a deal on it, it's going to cost this much to fix up. You prioritize the ambiance, and then you go with the best deal. If you got two things of equal ambiance, one's going to cost more, but one, you know, costs less to get, one costs less to fix up. Do the one with the better current reputation, if it's equal, okay? But prioritize ambiance first and foremost. Now, then you write down what you're gonna pay, what you're gonna charge for your fee in the whole thing. You take 1% of the transaction, whatever. You're basically kind of like a little mini real estate broker type agent person at this point. You're a broker at this point. Okay? You're brokering a deal. That's what you're doing. You're putting the deal together. You can take a percentage of the deal. You write down what you get out of it. You write down what your investors get out of it. And you write down what everything is going to cost. You write down your plans to improve the property. And by the way, it very much does help to have your real estate submit an offer. Your real estate agent actually submit an offer on the property. Okay? The pressure will be on once that happens. Okay? But as far as getting the investors on board, You might have to make multiple offers before one's accepted, but do your numbers first. Make your offers within your projected plan. Make sure that it doesn't become unlucrative at a certain price, because you know at a certain price there's no amount of ambiance that's gonna fucking help. And what you're looking for is a property that has a cap value of 5 and you're trying to turn it into like a 10, okay? You're trying to turn it into a 7 at the least. You're trying to get a property with rents of $500, make them $700. Maybe from 450 all the way up to 900. It depends on how bad it is, what the overall ambiance potential is. And when you take those existing tenants, what you're going to do is you're going to evict the people who can't pass a background check, evict the people who don't belong there to begin with, evict the people who aren't even on a damn lease anymore because the landlord doesn't want to keep them on the books. You remodel the exterior, you remodel the parking lot, you add the security, you add the services, and then you remodel all the ones that have been vacated. Then, when the people that you want to keep have their lease come up, you tell them you have to renew in one of these new units. And we're going to have to inch up your rent a little bit at a time because you're one of our legacy tenants, and we're basically classifying you on this legacy policy as a disabled person, an elderly person, or a single mother, federally exempt otherwise status. Okay, even though you're not a federal entity, you're just doing that just to be congenial, really. I mean, to give yourself a good reputation. You're not going to charge them ever as much as you'd charge everybody else, because them being there and you doing this is going to help you keep all the other places rented out. So, especially when it comes to like having an on-site leasing assistant, now you have somebody who's in frankly a better situation for you, but at the same time a weaker negotiating position. Because what you don't want to do is have to put an ad out where you pay somebody and give them free rent for what a little old lady who already lives there can do. Shit, you might want to consider giving them a discount on rent for staying. But there's no reason to push them out or to make their lives harder. Okay? What you want to do is maybe even have a group meeting with them, otherwise have a meeting one-on-one after you buy the place and say, look, this is how things used to be. This is what I'm doing. And it's costing me this much. I'm going to be charging all the new tenants this much. I want to know what y'all think is fair for y'all to be paying to move into one of these nice new apartments, so I can go ahead and remodel the units y'all are staying in now. I don't want to make your lives impossible, okay? But at the same time, y'all get security now. The parking lot's always got spaces in it because there's no abandoned parking in it. Mrs. Robinson, your heater works all year round, your AC works all year round, you don't got no plumbing leaks anymore, the roof doesn't leak anymore, this, tell them what you've done for them, and then ask them what they can do for you. Come to an agreement, okay? I'm hoping that y'all can maybe go from $500 a month to $550 a month, okay? And that's just a couple of units, and those people are your on-site security. And you can, at that point, ask them, if y'all see anybody coming by, you give them one of my cards, you tell them to call me, and that way I don't have to hire a leasing agent around here, and I don't need to raise anybody's rents anymore. And you need to have that. You need to have a good trash pickup service, recycling services help if those are available, um, and 24-hour security monitoring. One of those reliable name brand services with the little signs and stickers you can put up everywhere, okay? And then when it comes to the new units, you give them a choice on which unit. And you purposely offer the little old lady the one in the front, right where you can see the whole parking lot and know everything that's going on. And she'll be like, yes, I would like that. I can just get into everybody's business. And you tell the old man, the old disabled veteran, I kept this one over here in the back open for you because I thought you might want some peace and quiet. And he'll be like, yeah, I'll stay in the back in case anybody thinks they can get away. I know if somebody comes back there, they're up to no good. So I ain't got to make any hard decisions. and suddenly your property's got the you got the little bit of a hint of a reputation. If anybody comes snooping around, there's an old possible gun owner in the back there. That is not the back of a property I want to go snooping around at. And just as he sees that, he notices the little old lady goes poop. And boom, your property value goes up. The hoodlum passes by and tells his friends, no, y'all, that place ain't cool no more. We can't go sneak around the back of those apartments and smoke weed like we used to. Oh, I know. I used to sneak on around the back of them apartments too. So Act 1, assess the properties, decide on a property based on this performance that you put on, basically. Not a really performance. You just got to live in your own little fantasy world where this shit's going to happen, okay? Make it happen. Act 2, take that deal to your real estate agent, get her help, his help, structure it. Make sure it doesn't look stupid, basically. Now, you're going to need to do your own research as far as what it's going to cost to do this, that, and the other thing. And you're going to want to highball the hell out of this figure, okay? Or those figures. But again, it helps to know people, or it helps to be a contractor yourself and actually have a good understanding. Because you're not going to be able to get people to come out there and give you quotes on some shit that you don't own yet. Okay. So you're estimating, and then you're getting the prices that you can get. The prices on security, the prices on maintenance, the prices on trash pickup. Okay. Itemize as much as you possibly can. Show them how much thought you've put into it. Don't just think, oh, if I leave that out, they'll just assume that I've taken. No. Itemize. If you want to categorize something and be general about it, you need to, be as specific as you can about every category. By unit, by building, something. And then you take that to that boss that you used to work for, that you know still respects you. Take it to your dentist, your doctor, who's a practitioner. You take it to the local hotshot who owns half the town. Take it to his cousin, take it to his brother. Ask your real estate agent if she knows any investors. Ask your real estate agent if their spouse or they want to invest. Oh yeah, make sure you turn it right around and say, "Oh, you went in on this? Now that you see this deal that I've put together, do you want in on this?" Because guess what that means? They get the double dip. Act 2 is you get people to believe in that plan. And they give you their money. And you use it to buy the property and make the repairs and start leasing stuff out. And then you pay them dividends. And they're going to be making a whole lot more thanks to your efforts than any savings account, than just about any stock, any mutual fund, CDs. They're going to get the increased value of that real estate. They're going to get a percentage of the ownership of that net value increase. And they're going to get a percentage of the rent, the cash-to-cash rent at the end of every month. And that's why they're going to give you the money. You had to put a whole lot of work in. But think about the money that's going to be the payoff once it's done. Is anybody in here? Holy shit. No chatting whatsoever, huh? Been 100 minutes straight, no chat. I had to go and eat before I ended the last broadcast without taking questions or anything. And I was hoping to actually take questions at the end of this one. But nobody's chat. Nobody's here. One person. There was two for a second there. And then they went away. I guess since I put YouTube in the title, I don't know. They just assumed I was gonna be calling out all their fuckery again. No, that's not the main thing here. Y'all owe me a hell of an apology, but y'all been owing me an apology for years now. Anyways. So step one, do your research. That includes pretending you can do step two, which is your acquisition. Step three, you do your development. You renovate the property. And step four, you open up for business. I suppose if you want to add a step 5 on there, repeat the process. Only what you don't want to do is leverage the equity from the first property into the second one. Because that's some Ponzi scheme type shit. And that's called over leveraging. Don't do that. Anyways. So I think that about covers it. And suppose if any of my people have questions, they can leave them in the comments. Otherwise, I hope I covered everything. Trying to you need insurance. Naturally, you need insurance for everything. Make sure you know about all the types of insurance. You're going to need a lawyer to establish the LLC, so make sure you have a lawyer that you can, seems like you can have a good relationship with. Just don't go to like JQ, the cheapest one you can find in the middle of a far area. Go to one in town, ones you can get to often, do business with often. And don't seem desperate for investors when you get your LLC, and then go back later and offer it to them. That's what I would do. Anyway, that's the last burst of inspiration I think I can apply here. I'm gonna try to give me a couple hours of shut-eye. Yeah, I think there's still a couple hours left to be gotten. But anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you don't mind clicking the like button, whoever watches this in the future, and make sure you're subscribed as always. Y'all take it easy, but don't take it all. Peace.